Welcome to our presentation about a new form of measurement in market research. Today we are going to present the idea of the swipe mechanism that some of you may know from perhaps a neighbor who's using a very specific dating app called Tinder. We are trying to explain the seriousness of the approach by showing you some results of our study conducted under the name COVID Heroes. The study compares established forms of implicit measurement with a new approach following the Tinder mechanism of answering together with time measurement. Besides, we were testing some new technology which only became available during the pandemic. My name is Holger. I am from the University of Applied Sciences HDW Berlin. In this project, I was responsible for the integration of the different ideas of time measurement. I'm very thankful to work in a team of highly skilled people.
Hi, Steffen Schmidt from Link Marketing Services, Switzerland. I'm a marketing scientist and consultant, and in the current study, I was responsible for setting up the implicit test and analyzing the corresponding data. And I'm blessed to work here in a team that not only consists of motivated and highly skilled people, but who also know how to have fun while doing research.
Welcome also from my side. My name is Malte from GapFish. We are very pleased to have been allowed to contribute the sample from our GapFish panel for this wonderful study.
I'm Oskar. In this project, I was responsible for the technical setup and the integration of the different data collection approaches.
This is our outline. We will first get you on board with the idea of implicit research. Then you will get to know the new approach using the swipe mechanism in comparison with the established implicit measurement approaches, which we will show you in a study that we conducted. For sure, we will sum it up at the end and would love to discuss with you.
So what about implicit research using response latency? Well, actually, it is not a really new topic, at least from a scientific perspective. Indeed, since the mid-1970s, there has been an increased interest in reaction time measurements in psychology, but also in marketing. Why is that? Because mental processes that determine the decision-making of humans are grounded in real time. The implicit association test, an approach for measuring automatic attitudes at an implicit level that was introduced by Greenwald et al. In 1998, can be flagged here as breakthrough. Since then, a growing number of studies have shown that implicit measures can differ from traditional self-reports. That is, they measure some kind of other facets of people's responses to stimuli or better cues from their external environment. In this way, again, they can better explain people's perception of reality in general and predict people's behavior much more accurately. And no surprise, since the late 1990s, response time measures are increasingly being employed in marketing research for a number of measurement purposes. That includes, among other, product choice, brand image, media engagement, and sponsorship effectiveness. The reason why, while consumers' behavior can be predicted much more precisely using reaction time measures, and at the same time, a more holistic consumer understanding is provided. To capture automatic associations at a subconscious implicit level, current implicit response measurements applied in marketing research follow the faster reaction time paradigm. That means the faster the response, the stronger the automatic association between two cues. For example, a brand and an attribute at an implicit level. How does the measurement procedure work in detail? Respondents are forced to associate certain characteristics with a brand, product, company, or also service. And for example, attributes related to some kind of brand motifs or archetypes such as freedom, as shown here in the video on the left. During the test, two informations are captured. First, the response, yes or no, or does it fit, does not fit. And second, the reaction time in milliseconds. At the end, both information are used to calculate the final implicit score for each association. And the score is ranging here from 0, that means very spontaneous disapproval, to 100, that means or indicates a very spontaneous approval.
Whenever you ask someone if they are familiar with the dating app Tinder, the answer is pretty often no, never heard of it. But strangely, some people do know how this mechanism works, which means swiping to the left is some kind of no, and swiping to the right is a clear yes. This idea started as a joke some years ago, but turned into a fun idea which is now a serious fun idea in the world of market research. We're going to show you how this works.
The idea is pretty simple. The Tinder mechanism is integrated into the research tool QuestFox as a dichotomous question with a positive and a negative direction. An item can be presented either as a text or a picture on the presentation stage, which also can be changed in size. The answers can be defined with some text and a little icon. All this is HTML5, which works inside the browser without additional installations. It is supposed to be device agnostic, which means that it should work on all modern devices. Just some very old browsers do not know how to handle this. With some more graphical skills, which our team doesn't really have, you can do pretty much anything which does not even look like market research anymore. Some market research specific functions are also available, like randomization, hiding of items, connections to other logics, and so on. The implicit part is handled by time measurement in milliseconds. Swiping to the right is a positive answer measured in milliseconds, and to the left, just counting the time negatively. There are 3 answering styles possible. The first is swiping on a touchscreen with your finger or with the mouse on your desktop. The second is clicking the answer button underneath. And the third one is a keyboard answering, as some people use in the lab. From the desktop lab studies, you may know that by pressing A to answer left and L to answer right. Here are some more examples of how this can be used. The Tinder question type can be used as a simple text, a picture, a logo, standalone, or in combination with text. Besides the standard exposition of brands and products, this question type can be used to trigger answers to psychological statements.
To identify the associations people do have in mind when it comes to a specific topic, such as vaccination, we use NeuroFlash. NeuroFlash is an advanced SaaS solution to conduct a neurosemantic big data web analysis in order to predict what people think and do. How did we run that kind of analyzing using NeuroFlash? Well, first we defined the country of interest. Here Germany was set via default. Second, we use the option to define associations that should be related to the content of interest. Here we use the association SARS-CoV-2 and COVID. Third, then the content to be searched was defined. Here it was vaccination and vaccine. Fourth, we narrowed, or better say we focused the search to specific type of association, here adjectives and nouns. And fifth, the derived research list was checked and the final associations were chosen.
The items derived from the AI tool NeuroFlash were integrated into the implicit Tinsort question type in QuestFox. The respondents could either click or swipe the items to the left or to the right. A list of 37 items was answered on average in 62 seconds. Every participant had 2 rounds with 2 random brands, where the first round took around 68 seconds and the second round only 56 seconds, so there is some learning involved. Age explains best the difference in answering time. A little gender effect shows that men answer slower compared to ladies. The device effect is also present. Respondents perform much quicker on touch devices. And iOS users answer quicker than Android users. They just don't have the time for that kind of research. But as the algorithm reflects on the individual answering style, all of this can be neglected. It just adds a little bit to the cost of research without interfering with the results. The study has a technical background, as we are interested in the methodology of implicit measurement in a new format. But we also try to give a meaning to the things we do, and so we made the heroes of the pandemic our research content. This study has a technical background as we are interested in the methodology of implicit measurement in a new format. But we also try to give a meaning to the things we do, and so we created our little environment of research by looking at those researchers who suddenly became a public person in the time of the pandemic. As we are thankful for their marvelous work, we called this part of the study COVID Heroes. To evaluate brands, we decided to use the vaccine brands available by now. Aren't they heroes too? During the pandemic, some people entered the public arena. As we are thankful for their marvelous work, we called them COVID Heroes. To evaluate brands, we decided to use the COVID-19 vaccine brands available by now. Aren't they heroes too? We integrated the vaccine brands in a random procedure so that respondents would get 2 out of a list of 8 to evaluate. A little experiment was integrated too. We allowed ourselves to compare the single brand BioNTech with their own co-brand as Pfizer-BioNTech. 2 actively used versions of the brand CureVac were also compared, once with their subline, the RNA people, and once without, to see if there is an effect on the brand evaluation by that subline. Independent from our research goal, my personal COVID hero is Christian Karayanidis, for a very personal reason. To test the different technology approaches, we used the classic implicit measurement as offered by the tool Quantilope, where the respondents use their keyboard to answer when confronted with a stimulus. The tool QuestFox allowed to use the Tinder mechanic with either swiping or clicking. The keyboard version is also available, but was not used here as we wanted to see the differences between the 2 approaches.
The empirical finding showed no substantial difference. That means there might be a significant difference, but without any effect size at least small level. Regarding here the expert-rated association scores between the reaction time approaches investigated. Hence, the Tinder approach demonstrated the same measurement performance as the classical approach. However, the Tinder approach on a mobile device achieved the highest intent to recommend the survey as an indicator of the enjoyment of participating in this kind of study. Furthermore, Drosten reached the highest average hero score with Schade in the last spot. On top, we identified the silent associations that showed an impact on consumers' decision-making for a vaccine brand. To run that kind of analysis, a universal structure modeling based on Bayesian neural network was applied. Here, BioNTech received the highest average hero score, closely followed by Moderna. In the last places with the lowest hero scores are CureVac and Sputnik.
A short reflection and outlook into the future. The new method of swiping in combination with background time measurement is really promising. We can tell that it is easy to set up for the researcher and even easier to use for the respondent. In comparison with the control group who had to use the established procedure with keyboard measurement, the evaluation of the questionnaire was slightly better with Tinsort, so people actually liked it a bit more. The negative side may be that people do not carefully read the items and tend to become speeders by just swiping. This means that you should integrate some kind of control mechanism to assure the quality of your research. We hope that we could explain to you that this approach is serious stuff and it is meant to last in the world of mobile market research. We are continuously looking for new ways how to integrate this into your specialized concept. Some people believe that this procedure is just a cheap trick. Perhaps it is, but it is functional in the methodological world of research. The idea of using artificial intelligence to even create the items of a questionnaire is something that we need to discuss in detail, as this also seems to be very promising. But please take this Tinder idea of interaction and market research serious, because it can be used in a versatile way. Market research is only one of the options here. Thanks for your attention. We hope you enjoyed this little presentation and we are looking forward to discuss it with you.